Have you ever noticed how some people start acting strange the moment you stop feeding their ego? But wait, what if I told you that when your silence begins to break someone's ego, they don't back off? They escalate. They switch into survival mode, over-explaining, showing off, provoking you, even pretending not to care while watching your every move. Yes, I'm talking about those ego games that unfold quietly in the background. While you're simply choosing peace, they're scrambling to regain a sense of control. Stoic philosophy teaches us that real strength isn't in shouting louder, it's in staying unmoved. But let me ask you this, is your silence truly for your peace? Or are you still reacting without realizing it? Maybe it's time to understand what your silence is really exposing. Stay until the end, because the final sign, that one reveals their ego's deepest fear. Let's begin. Number 1. They start over-explaining themselves. Let's talk about one of the clearest signs that your silence is shaking someone's ego. They suddenly start over-explaining everything. It happens the moment you stop reacting, the moment you stop defending yourself, the moment you stop giving them the emotional fuel they were used to feeding on, and suddenly the person who never cared to explain anything is now talking a lot. They repeat themselves, add unnecessary details, justify every move, and try to rewrite history in real time. It looks like communication, but it's actually panic. Here's the truth. When you stop reacting, they panic. Your silence becomes a mirror, and mirrors terrify insecure people. Because without your reactions, without your responses, without your emotional engagement, they have nothing to hide behind. Their ego loses its shield, and the mask they used to wear so confidently starts slipping. Your silence exposes what their words were hiding all along: insecurity. The ego hates silence because silence forces a person to face themselves. When someone knows they've crossed a line, when they know their behavior wasn't right, when they know they can't manipulate you anymore, their instinct is to start explaining instead of reflecting. It's not guilt, it's fear. Fear of losing control over how you see them. And ego. Ego survives on control. If they can control your reaction, they can control the narrative. But silence starves the ego. Let me share a story. A guy I know, let's call him Michael, had a friend who constantly belittled him in subtle ways. Whenever Michael spoke up, this friend would twist everything, making him look overly sensitive. One day, Michael decided to do something different. He stopped explaining himself. No defending, no reacting, no emotional back and forth, just silence. And that was the moment everything changed. His friend, who usually acted superior and unbothered, suddenly sent long paragraphs trying to explain his jokes, his tone, his intentions. He repeated the same excuses again and again, desperately trying to justify what didn't need justification, unless he already knew he was wrong. Michael didn't have to argue. His silence did the work. The over-explaining revealed what the ego was trying to hide: insecurity, fear of exposure, and the loss of control. So how do you handle someone who starts over-explaining because you chose silence? First, don't interrupt their unraveling. Let them talk. Let them reveal themselves. Second, understand that their explanations are not for clarity. They're for protection. They're protecting their image, not repairing the connection. And finally, remember this truth: a strong, grounded person doesn't need to over-explain. Only those who feel threatened do. This is where Stoic wisdom cuts straight through the noise. Seneca said, "The truth needs no defense. Only the guilty rush to justify." And that's exactly what's happening. Your silence didn't make them guilty. It simply removed the distractions that kept their guilt hidden. At the end of the day, your silence is not cruelty. It's clarity. You're not breaking them. You're exposing what was always there. And when someone's ego starts scrambling for explanations, trust this: they feel your silence more loudly than anything you could have said. Number 2, They suddenly try to impress you. Let's talk about one of the most revealing signs that your silence is getting under someone's skin. They suddenly start trying to impress you. It's almost funny how predictable this behavior is. The moment you stop giving them attention, the moment you stop reacting, the moment your energy shifts, they feel it. And trust me, they feel it deeply. You see, ego thrives on being noticed. It needs admiration, validation, and an audience. And when you stop providing that audience, it throws them into a quiet panic. Here's the truth. Once your energy shifts, they sense it immediately, even if you say nothing, even if you act normal, even if you're polite. Your silence speaks louder than any confrontation ever could. They feel the difference, the way you no longer lean in, the way you no longer respond with emotion, the way you no longer give them the attention their ego was addicted to. And their reaction, they start performing. Suddenly they become louder, more boastful, more dramatic, more accomplished. They brag about things you never asked about. They show off achievements they didn't care to mention before. They start dressing better, speaking differently, even acting in ways that feel exaggerated, all for one reason: to earn back your attention. It's a desperate attempt to make you look their way again. Not because they value you, but because they value how you made them feel. Your disinterest hurts more than your anger ever could. Anger means you still care. Silence means you're no longer affected, and nothing bruises an ego more than being unaffected. Let me share a story. A woman I know, let's call her Emily, pulled back from a guy who constantly played mind games. She stopped giving him emotional reactions. No more irritated texts, no more overthinking, no more trying to fix things. She simply went quiet, and suddenly, the guy who used to act cold and uninterested started posting gym pictures, flashy wins, new outfits, luxury shots, all timed perfectly when he knew she would see them. The same man who once acted like he didn't need anyone now needed her attention more than ever. That's the power of silence. It flips the dynamic instantly. So how do you handle someone who suddenly starts performing for your attention? First, don't react. Their performance is bait designed to pull you back into their psychological game. Second, stay grounded. Their attempts are not about improvement, they're about insecurity. And finally, understand this. If someone only puts in effort when they feel you slipping away, that effort is not genuine. It's ego-driven. This is exactly where Stoic wisdom hits the hardest. Marcus Aurelius said, "Indifference is the strongest rebuke to vanity," and he was right. Your silence is not cruelty, it's clarity. Your indifference is not punishment, it's power. And when you stop feeding someone's ego, they will start performing for the crumbs of attention you refuse to give. At the end of the day, their need to impress you is the loudest sign of all. Your silence broke their ego, and now they're scrambling to rebuild it. Number 3, they become uncomfortable around your calm. Let's talk about one of the most powerful shifts you'll ever see when your silence starts breaking someone's ego. They become visibly uncomfortable around your calm. You're not arguing. You're not defending yourself. You're not emotionally reacting. You're simply still, and that alone is enough to shake them. Because ego feeds on chaos. It needs tension, drama, reactions, and emotional fireworks to feel alive. So when you become calm, deeply, quietly calm, their ego loses its food source, and the effect is immediate. Suddenly they don't know how to act around you. They fidget, ramble, over-explain, or become unusually quiet. They avoid eye contact or stare too long, hoping for some emotional hint from you. They laugh nervously. They get irritated by things that never bothered them before. Your calm becomes their discomfort. Here's the truth. Your peace disarms their ego. The quieter you become, the louder their discomfort grows. Because when you're calm, you're in control, not of them, but of yourself. And that is something the ego hates. Ego wants power. Calmness removes it. Let me share a story. A man I know, let's call him Daniel, had a boss who constantly used intimidation and emotional pressure to keep the team on edge. Most people reacted with fear or frustration, which only fed the boss's sense of dominance. But Daniel decided to try something different. He didn't argue, didn't panic, didn't respond emotionally. He simply remained calm, steady tone, steady energy, steady presence. And what happened? His boss became visibly unsettled. The man who once thrived on creating chaos suddenly didn't know how to handle someone he couldn't emotionally sway. He started pacing, repeating himself, getting louder, all while Daniel's calmness exposed how little control this boss truly had. Daniel didn't win by fighting. He won by refusing to participate in the chaos. That's the power of calmness. It makes insecure people feel exposed. Why? Because your calmness mirrors their lack of control. It shows them the difference between someone rooted in self-mastery and someone controlled by their own ego. People uncomfortable with themselves can't stand being around someone who is grounded. Your calm doesn't just silence them, it reveals them. So how do you handle this shift? First, maintain your center. Don't let their discomfort pull you back into emotional chaos. Second, understand that their reaction is not about you, it's about their own lack of inner stability. And finally, recognize the truth. Your calmness is not weakness, it's power. This is where Stoic wisdom offers clarity. Epictetus said, "He who is at peace within cannot be disturbed without." And that's exactly what your calmness represents. Inner peace they can't touch. At the end of the day, your calm is not just silence, it's strength. And when someone's ego starts breaking, your quiet presence becomes the one thing they can't control and the one thing they can't escape. If you found this valuable, hit like and subscribe for more powerful insights.
Number 4. They try to provoke a reaction. Let's talk about one of the most desperate, most predictable ego responses. They try to provoke you. When the ego can no longer control you through attention, validation, or emotional pull, it switches to its last line of defense: conflict. And not just any conflict. Conflict designed specifically to break your silence. You'll notice it immediately. Little comments meant to irritate you, sudden coldness, backhanded remarks, sarcasm disguised as humor, accusations out of nowhere, tiny jabs meant to poke at your patience. Why? Because when ego loses attention, it seeks conflict to regain relevance. If it can't get you to react with interest, it will try to get you to react with anger. Either way, it wants your energy. Here's what most people don't realize. Ego doesn't care whether you love it or hate it. It only cares that you're paying attention. Your silence deprives it of that power, and that's why it panics. So it tries to corner you, push your buttons, trigger old emotional patterns, say things just sharp enough to make you want to defend yourself. But here's where your real power lies. Stay silent. That's how you win. Not the silence of withdrawal, not the silence of passive aggression, but the silence of mastery. The silence that says, "I am not controlled by your chaos." Let me share a story. A woman I know, let's call her Ava, had a co-worker who always competed with her. When Ava suddenly stopped reacting to her games, that co-worker started poking at her in meetings. "Oh, Ava probably won't understand this part." "Ava, you seem quiet. Something wrong?" "Well, not everyone can keep up." The old Ava would have defended herself, argued back, or gotten upset. But this time, she remained calm. She stayed quiet. She didn't flinch. And something incredible happened. The co-worker began unraveling. The more Ava refused to engage, the more erratic and irritated this co-worker became. Because you cannot fight what refuses to fight back. And that's the beauty of silence. You remove the battlefield. You take away the stage. You starve the ego until it exposes itself. So how do you deal with someone trying to provoke a reaction? First, don't react emotionally. Ego wants a show. Don't give it one. Second, hold your energy steady. Let them spiral alone. And finally, understand that provocation is proof. You've already taken their power away. This is where Stoic wisdom becomes your armor. Marcus Aurelius said, "To be provoked is to surrender the command of oneself." When you react, you hand them control. When you stay centered, you keep your power. At the end of the day, someone trying to provoke you isn't strong. They're desperate. Your silence is working. Your calm is winning. And their attempts to break you are nothing more than confirmation that you've already broken their ego. Number 5. They gossip about you more than usual. Let's talk about one of the most obvious, yet often misinterpreted, signs that your silence is breaking someone's ego. They start talking about you more behind your back, and not in a light, casual way. No, this is the kind of gossip that comes from insecurity, jealousy, and desperation. The kind that spills out when they feel powerless face to face. Because here's what happens when your silence hits their ego. They lose access to you. They lose your responses. They lose the emotional fuel they used to rely on. And when someone can't get your attention directly, they'll try to reach you through others. They want to feel relevant again. They want to feel in control again. They want to feel like they still matter in your world. So, they start talking. A lot. And to everyone except you. Suddenly people around you mention that this person brought up your name. You hear little comments like, "Yeah, they were talking about you the other day. I thought you two weren't even close anymore." They seemed bothered when your name came up. That's not coincidence. That's ego, bruised, exposed, and scrambling for stability. Here's the truth. Talking behind your back becomes their last desperate attempt to stay relevant. When they can no longer get a reaction from you, they'll try to get a reaction about you. If they can't pull you into a conversation, they'll pull your name into theirs. Let me share a story. A woman I know, let's call her Sophie, stopped responding to a friend who constantly belittled her. No fight, no explanation, just quiet distance. And almost instantly, this friend began gossiping. "She thinks she's too good now. Honestly, she's acting weird lately. I don't know what's gotten into her." Why? Because silence creates uncertainty. Uncertainty creates insecurity. And insecurity fuels gossip. When people lose access to you, they talk about you to feel like they still have a piece of you. It's the ego's final attempt to feel powerful. But here's where you must stay strong. Do not defend yourself. Do not chase explanations. Do not correct the narrative. Your silence already stripped their ego of control. Defending yourself would give it right back. Your peace is louder than their gossip. Your distance is stronger than their bitterness. This is where Stoic wisdom hits hardest. Epictetus said, "The small mind discusses people, the strong mind, purpose." And that's the difference between you and them. They're stuck in small, petty conversations. You're focused on your own life, your own growth, your own direction. So what should you do? First, stay centered. Their gossip says everything about them and nothing about you. Second, trust that people eventually see the truth. Lies fade. Character doesn't. And finally, remember this. Their need to gossip is just proof that your silence carries more weight than your words ever did. At the end of the day, someone who talks about you when you're silent is revealing their own weakness, because even without your voice, you still affect them. If you've watched the video this far, don't forget to leave a comment with a thank God and give it a like if you enjoyed the content. Your support means a lot and motivates me to keep creating more interesting videos. I hope you find inspiration in them and that we continue learning together. Thank you for your support. Number 6. They act like they don't care, but watch everything you do. Let's talk about one of the most ironic signs that your silence is breaking someone's ego. They pretend they don't care, yet they monitor every move you make. On the surface, they act calm, unbothered, and detached. They'll shrug, look away, or pretend your absence means nothing. But underneath that performance is a different reality. Your silence has turned your life into their quiet obsession. Here's the truth. People who truly don't care don't pay attention. But people who pretend not to care, they're watching everything. They watch your posts. They watch your growth. They watch who you're spending time with. They watch the changes in your energy, your confidence, your mindset. And most importantly, they watch how effortlessly you moved on without them. Why? Because your silence created a gap they didn't expect. A gap where they no longer have access to your thoughts, your emotions, or your reactions. That gap becomes a void, and that void becomes an obsession. So even though they act cool on the outside, inside they're thinking, why aren't they reacting to me anymore? Why does their life look better without me? Why does their peace bother me so much? Why do I miss the attention I used to take for granted? Your growth becomes their silent discomfort. And the more you evolve, the more they watch, quietly, secretly, and obsessively. Because now, every step you take forward feels like a reminder of what they can't control anymore. Let me share a story. A guy I know, let's call him Jason, stepped back from someone who constantly drained his energy. No drama, no argument, just quiet distance. The other person acted unfazed, even slightly arrogant, as if it didn't matter. But here's what happened behind the scenes. This person viewed every single one of Jason's posts. They kept tabs on his achievements through mutual friends. They noticed every small change in his confidence. They compared themselves to him quietly and miserably, all while pretending not to care. That's how ego works. It cannot admit it's hurting, so it hides behind fake indifference while obsessing in silence. Your silence didn't push them away. It pulled their attention inward, forcing them to face the one thing they've been avoiding, the fear that you're doing better without them. This is where Stoic insight strikes deeply. Seneca said, "Envy is the tribute that mediocrity pays to excellence." What does that mean? It means their silent watching is not admiration. It's envy disguised as detachment. It means your growth stings more because they can't claim any part of it. It means your progress exposes their stagnation. So how do you handle someone who acts like they don't care but watches everything you do? First, stay on your path. Their eyes on you are proof that you're moving differently. Second, don't react. They want to feel relevant. Don't give them that satisfaction. And finally, let your growth speak for you. At the end of the day, someone who pretends not to care while watching your every step has already lost the game, because your silence didn't just break their ego, it made you unforgettable. Number 7. They come back with sudden kindness. Let's talk about one of the biggest, most manipulative ego reactions. They suddenly come back acting sweet, gentle, and kind. Not because they've changed, not because they've reflected, not because they've grown, but because their old tactics stopped working. When your silence destroys their ability to control the narrative, the ego shifts strategies. And the next tactic? Charm, kindness, polite apologies, unexpected softness. But don't get it twisted. This isn't healing. This isn't maturity. This isn't love. This is strategy. Because when all manipulation fails, the ego changes its mask. If anger didn't work, if provoking didn't work, if gossip didn't work, if competing didn't work, if showing off didn't work, if copying you didn't work, if pretending not to care didn't work, there is only one tool left in the ego's box: unexpected kindness. Suddenly they miss you. Suddenly they value you. Suddenly they understand what went wrong. Suddenly they're supportive, affectionate, apologetic, even spiritual. But let's be honest, this shift didn't come from a change of heart. It came from a loss of control. Here's the truth. They return with sweetness, compliments, or apologies, not to heal, but to regain control. Ego will do anything to stay relevant in your life. It doesn't want peace. It wants power. Let me share a story. A woman I know, let's call her Olivia, cut off emotional engagement with a man who kept playing mind games. She didn't fight, didn't argue, didn't explain. She just became calm and unavailable. And instantly, everything changed. This man, who once dismissed her feelings, suddenly returned with, "I've been thinking about how unfair I was. You deserve someone who listens. I didn't realize how much you meant to me. You're such a good person." It sounded beautiful, sincere even. But here's what she noticed. All that kindness appeared the moment she stopped reacting. Not before, not during the disrespect, only after her silence fractured his ego. That's not healing, that's panic. People don't transform overnight. What transforms overnight is fear. Fear of losing access to the person who once fed their ego. This is where Stoic wisdom becomes your armor. Epictetus said, "Flattery is the disguise of manipulation. Beware the smile that follows insult." A smile that comes after disrespect is not softness, it's strategy. A compliment after chaos is not affection, it's calculation. A sudden apology is not growth, it's survival. So how do you handle this sudden kindness? First, stay grounded. Don't be swept away by a tone shift. Second, watch actions, not words. Words are cheap when ego is threatened. Third, remember the pattern. If the kindness comes only after you withdraw, it's not real, it's reactive. At the end of the day, sudden kindness from someone who once disrespected you is not love. It's the final attempt of a cracking ego to keep its influence alive. Stay centered, stay calm, stay awake. You didn't break them. You broke the illusion they were hiding behind. If you believe this video can help others, give it a like. It helps the YouTube algorithm show it to more people. And don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content coming your way. Share your thoughts in the comments. I will definitely reply.